Good morning, everybody. So as Vincent said, my name is Paul O'Callaghan, and I'm the relatively new chair of Families Need Fathers. I think just recapping on this morning, reflecting on this morning's two presentations, I think the one thing that came across to me was what Martin said, is that we're dealing with three key issues at the same time here. We're dealing with stress of the situation, the pain of the loss, and also the injustice that we all feel as we're approaching Families Need Fathers at a time when our mental health has been stressed and strained so much. So I think they're the things that the task is ahead of us as we're going through. So I'm very aware of that task as we move ahead. And as I said, I've recently taken over the charity, which is now almost in its 50th year. It has an impressive record to date, and the challenges of the family courts in 1974 are, in our view, no less of a challenge today for non-resident parents. The only sense of equality I feel that's been happened in the family courts is that it's actually bad for everybody. So what we do know is that the data continues to show is that 94% of non-resident parents are fathers. And now we know from CAFCAS that in this year alone, in excess of 90,000 children came to the attention of CAFCAS through private law in the family courts. It is, in our view, truly a public health crisis that nobody seems to recognise and nobody seems to acknowledge or even seems to want to address at this point in time. So F&F, at its core, is a personal support group. It's just people that know each other, want to get together, and that's how we started, and whose children were being prevented from being seen those days in 1974 to their fathers. F&F has now grown to be one of the most influential voices in family law. We've managed to change statute law 4 times in our life, making a number of lesser changes in the law as well. One significant change is threatened now as we speak. The presumption of both parents to have involvement in their children's upbringing, when safe to do so, of course, is now under threat within the court system, is under review within the judicial system and the legal system. A statement which under any other circumstances would be most commonly and widely accepted and has taken us much closer to the Statement of Human Rights with the United Nations Convention of Human Rights and the rights of the child. How such a statement that parents should be involved in their children's upbringing can be challenged is an anathema to us, and I'm sure an anathema to wider society. So F&F have 2 core aims. The first is to help children. It's to help children to have both parents and their wider families involved in their upbringing when safe to do so. This is our personal support work. We have done nearly 500,000 interactions for personal support this year alone, and our aim is to increase that number quite significantly as we break through COVID. The strategy of F&F, which has been agreed by National Council, is to broaden our support network, rebuild our national presence through branches, and focus on delivering valuable support and training for all of those involved in the family courts. Our second aim, as has been discussed this morning, is changing attitudes. Nearly everyone in the country now believes that both parents have an important role to play in the development of their children and the shared care of their children. We should always remember there are significant proportions of families post-breakdown that never see the inside of family courts. Most mothers in dispute with their exes even agree that shared care is the way to go. However, very few of them accept it when it comes to their own personal case. The family courts, social services and the like all dominate the position that we're in, and it's those are these institutions that we need to influence and have an impact on. Such ideology that men are bad and women are the only carers of children is prevalent on social media. And I'm pleased to say that we see such ideology actually being addressed within the judiciary system, particularly with some of the more recent cases that have been published, that have been coming through. Our job at F&F and as parents is to bring those stakeholders into line with the modern evidence and attitudes and drag them into the 21st century way of thinking and attitudes towards families. So F&F is a constitutional and respected charity. In its personal support terms, we simply deliver a service and increasingly diverse membership base. Our membership base also includes mothers, it includes grandparents increasingly, and increasingly including same-sex couples. The family court is truly a leveller when it comes to injustice. Our clarion call, our request for help remains as it was back in 1974. We need your support, we need your skills, and of course we need your money. So we are 100% reliant on charitable donations for funding. Unlike many of our other charities that are in this space, unlike many of the other charities in this space, we don't receive any government funding whatsoever. We have big ambitions and a very small bank balance. Today has been organised by the Central London branch, and I suspect truly nobody knows when Central London branch actually began, but probably well over 35 years ago. Their weekly meetings pre-COVID reached more than 1,000 attendees a year, and I'm both saddened and somewhat pleased to say that that has grown back again post-COVID. CLB is a flagship branch of F&F, and I congratulate their chair, Vincent. I congratulate all the board members that are present here today, and I hope we can see such events as this today up and down the country with the support of CLB as we're going through. So for 24 years of those 35 years of the CLB, Anthony Gold Solicitors have provided free monthly solicitors clinic at those meetings. Kim Beatson is their head of family law, who was responsible for organising those for several years, and Kim was often the person who did them herself. She is certainly a credit to herself, a credit to her firm and her profession, and as are many of her in her team. The secretary of this branch, Mr. John Baker, was one of the persons she personally helped, contributing to parenting plan of virtually equal time with both parents, which remained intact until the children were well into adulthood. I myself have used Anthony Gold as solicitors for my case, and I can recommend them to anyone should you need a solicitor. It is with great pleasure that we acknowledge that those who help us, and I'm honoured to present to Kim today a certificate of thanks from F&F Central London branch. And we hope, thank you. And I hope to see that in your reception room, in your waiting room next. In addition to a wonderful certificate, we also have a wonderful cake for you and your team. I'm not sure that's going to last till Monday, though. So, so on behalf of F&F, and most importantly on behalf of the children whose parents you have helped in order to have a long, loving and safe relationship to both parents, we want to say a very big thank you to you personally, to Anthony Gold, and of course to Central London branch. So thank you very much.